If Bitcoin cannot survive, then I don't think any altcoin can survive.
Hi.
Hi.
Nice to have you here.
Glad to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. Well, my first question, as usual, what we're drinking today?
Apparently, Chivas.
Chivas.
Yes.
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
You
yes.
like whiskey?
I like whiskey.
Because when I ask you what you're going to drink, and each guest brings his favorite alcohol
Brings.
Brings, yeah.
Okay.
But or I'm buying for them.
Yes.
So
That's why it was not my favorite now.
yeah,
but
you're a special one. I'm buying this for you. But anyway, why whiskey?
I don't know. I like the taste, but I drink mostly Scotch. So like Dalmore or something like that.
Sorry.
Not too smoky, but
You're not
it's
not
okay.
so
It's,
special. Okay, but still special.
You're forgiven.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, how did you actually came to crypto, and how you've?
Well, it's just the same old story. End of 2013, seeing news articles about Bitcoin booming, and then I looked into it and I started buying shitcoins. So, but well, that was when I actually bought my first crypto. But before that, I was on a website called Black Hat World, which was very popular with like SEO type of guys. I did SEO back then. Um, and I read about Bitcoin there in like 2011, I think. And I read about it and it just seemed like a scam. So I just like, if I would have bought then, it would have been a different story. But so I bought the top in 2013 and then started buying shitcoins. And
So you're a shitcoin trader.
yes.
I was, or you are.
I still trade shitcoins, but just to make more Bitcoin.
Okay, that's
So
that's
a reasonable explanation.
That's a favorite excuse of any shitcoin trader. Yeah, I do that. I trade shitcoins,
It's like Alex
to make a
Glad.
Bitcoin.
I believe it's like Alex Gladstein that said it's called a monetary Bitcoin maximalist.
Okay,
So
monetary. So your background is actual marketing, as far as I understand.
yeah, online marketing.
Like, what did you do? Like,
Basically anything in online marketing, like AdWords campaigns, referral marketing, affiliate marketing, even SEO a bit. That's how I got on that website. I was working in an agency that did online marketing. So, and before that, I was even like completely different things. I did on like customer support for printers and for online banking and stuff like that. So,
did you enjoy the online banking?
no, I did it for 6 months. There was one time I had to help a 70-year-old woman make a payment online. And after that, I said, okay, took me about an hour.
I'm moving to crypto.
And no, after that, I said, okay, I'm done with this. I'm not doing online banking support anymore.
Okay, so did actually your marketing background help you to promote your own personal brand within crypto?
Oh yeah, for sure. Just knowing when to tweet, how to tweet.
Okay.
Now it's a bit less so.
Yeah, because obviously you have like 250,000 followers, so it's
220.
220.
Maybe when this airs, it will be
Yeah,
250.
so it basically doesn't matter when and what you tweet. You can just say like short bankers, long Bitcoin, and everyone will just retweet that and cheer that. Oh my God!
Yes, those
Such a wisdom.
certain people do that, and those are the easy wins. But I try to avoid that. Yeah. But it did help, like with certain exchanges have like referral campaigns, and using my background in affiliate marketing, certain exchanges I have a lot of referrals, which is a nice passive income for me as well.
Because like there's like in crypto there's like business owners or developers are usually those who get the most of the attention. Like owners of exchanges or like own mining companies or like core developers. And traders, of course, it's a huge like amount of crypto community, and they're like really, really famous traders, but it's quite rare, you know, for a trader to have like that much followers. I think you were, there's a website called Hive.one, and you're included in top 10 Bitcoin people and top 20, I think, crypto people in general.
I think it's top 20 and top 30 or 40 last time I checked. But yeah, that's a combination of things. So I do trade, but I don't like make those trades public anymore, because if you like say anything about the coin, people are either gonna buy it, which I don't really want, because I don't want to like sort of like give them financial advice, obviously. But at the same time, if they lose money on it, they will give you so much crap about it. Even though everyone should be like responsible for their own actions, they shouldn't just follow other people's advice. So I still trade a lot, but I don't make it public anymore. But I think what really helped me or made me popular back then was I made a post about Ethereum. The title was called I was wrong about Ethereum. Again, my marketing background, you know, clickbait title, that always works. But it was like at the high point of Ethereum. So it was at 0.14 BTC. So a lot of people were saying Ethereum is going to overtake Bitcoin, and it didn't. But that article got shared and got like almost 1 million views, I believe, and that really boosted my stats as well.
Okay. So do you have any like your own trading strategy, something like that? If you can disclose at least to some extent, like
I have my own trading strategy.
what is it?
Buy low, sell high.
Yeah, maybe you're just like trading top 10 coins, or some
Yes,
people are
yeah.
like.
Well, that's true. So in the past, I used to trade basically anything, and I stepped down for that because you need liquidity, and liquidity is only in the higher end, the top tier coins. But also, I got burned really bad in like 2015, 2014, 2015. That's why one of the reasons why I became Bitcoin maximalist, I guess. Because during those times, I mean, you see an altcoin, you go on Bitcoin talk,
Yeah.
and you see like, oh, and this is better than Bitcoin, and it's faster, and it's this and that, and has those features, has encrypted chat, and then I was like, yeah, maybe. So I was very naive back then, and I think a lot of people go through that phase. Like, you discover Bitcoin, you discover altcoins, and then maybe some of them are better, and then you like start to get disappointed in all those altcoins, and then you go back to Bitcoin eventually. So, but yeah, I mostly trade the top tier coins. I try to buy low, sell high.
The coins of your friends, like Monero, Litecoin, you know.
I have some Monero, I have some Litecoin, undisclosed amounts.
Undisclosed amount. What I wanted to ask you, is there no contradiction? You're trading shitcoin, but still you're like naming yourself Bitcoin maximalist?
No, because my whole point is to make more Bitcoin. People are gonna trade shitcoins anyway. So if I can make money out of it, or more
So
Bitcoin,
for you, shitcoins are just a tool
to make more
Bitcoin.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you recently also like became an investor, as far as I know. You invest in some like projects and do that.
Yeah.
Like not only like buying, selling coins, but also investing in like crypto projects.
Well, actually Bitcoin projects.
Yeah,
So
Bitcoin
I'm
projects.
focusing on Bitcoin project, like
Yeah.
HODL, for example.
Yeah.
I know you wanted to show your own product, but
No. I wanted actually to ask you not like name specifically what project,
Yeah.
but I wanted to ask you how you choose them. What's like you have your own like not this is not like trading, but more like investment logic behind any project that you invest.
Yes. So my idea behind it, I have to like the founders, but just it has to make sense to me. I got offered now, since I started doing that, I get pitched a lot of even Bitcoin projects, but it all has to click for me. It all has to make sense, because most projects don't make sense, or I don't see how they can make it profitable, because most startups fail anyway. Um, so even though I'm not that long in the game yet, it just has to make sense to me. And if it makes sense to me, then sure, I will invest in your project. Um, if I if I see that the people behind it are dedicated, know what they're doing, yeah, that makes sense.
What do you think about Libra? Does that make sense to you?
That makes no sense to me. I think it's a desperate move from Facebook to stay relevant, because people are leaving Facebook already for a while. I think it's mostly a play on Asia market, because in Asia Facebook is still quite commonly used as just like a chat tool. Like they don't use. Of course, you have like WeChat and stuff like that, but in some countries in Asia they just use Facebook chat to interact. So I think they're trying to capitalize on that. But Libra itself doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're gonna release something in 6 months. Good luck with that. And now already the regulators are saying that they're going to check everything. So that it's gonna be interesting, but it's not a really cryptocurrency. It's not decentralized. Um, you cannot validate for yourself the transactions unless you're willing to pay $10 million to validate those transactions.
And yet, even if you pay 10 million, they have this own special requirements for you. You can pay them $10 million, but if you like, they are filtering the partners, and if you're not like making in their like, you're not making with their expectations, then you most probably, even if you pay 20 or 30 millions, you won't be able to do that.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, it will be a competitor for PayPal or Venmo or something like that. It's I don't see it as a
Well, many people say that it will be a competitor to Bitcoin, like Bitcoin 2.0, like the Bitcoin
completely.
but with user base, like 500
Yeah,
half billion people using.
yes, centralized, and I think actually it might be a good stepping stone for Bitcoin itself, um, because people, as soon as people start getting censored on it, um, then people will start looking in a different direction, and then I see actually it might become something useful for Bitcoin itself. Like people might go into Bitcoin, check it out. This cannot be censored. This is decentralized. Um, I don't have um, Uber checking what I ate last night, what I paid for in Libra last night. I mean, yeah,
So it can be a gateway to Bitcoin,
yes,
as any other
that's like
shitcoin.
the utopian dream. That's like the ideal scenario. Yes.
Yeah, especially if they will allow trading, like exchanging Libra to Bitcoin. That's
Well,
almost
Coinbase was one of the partners, so
yeah.
that's interesting at least. It's a strange move that they're making. Coinbase has made a lot of strange moves, but
I just wanted to
yeah,
say this. Like, it's not strange for a company who is making a lot of strange moves.
yeah, it's fully KYC AML, so it makes sense. Like any exchange can basically add it without any risks. Um, we'll see how it goes, but don't call it a cryptocurrency, because we're not like a, they don't even have they don't have anything yet.
Then about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. What is Bitcoin for WhalePanda?
That's a good question. For me, it's mostly a store of value. So I see it as a way to preserve and increase my wealth, and also for my children. So when my son was born, I bought a significant amount of Bitcoin just for him. I'm planning to keep it for until he's responsible enough. That's 18, 21, or I don't know how old he'll be before he's responsible enough. But I see it as something like a store of value for the future, something that will keep over a long time, keep increasing in price because of the scarcity, and something that cannot be censored. I mean, most of us have had issues with banks at some point. Or even if you make like a payment and the bank calls you, like, why are you making this payment? Who is it for? That's none of your business. I'm making this payment. I want to make this payment. So like, just let it go through. It's my money. But it's actually not my money because it's the bank. The bank owns my money then. So it's taking back the money, the sovereignty of your money.
So what are the main like things that attracts you in Bitcoin most?
And initially, it was just making money, but now is it just
like this permissionless, censorship resistant, no middleman. What are these features that attract?
well the censorship resistance, the pseudo anonymity as well. I can have as much Bitcoin as like no one can. If I keep the addresses for myself, no one knows how much I have. Just for the record, I have 0 Bitcoin.
You lost it in a boat
I lost
accident.
it in a boating accident.
Yeah.
So and just like sending money to someone on the other side of the world, just like that. I mean, it's just a great tool. I know plenty of people who have like family in third world countries, and they just use Bitcoin now.
Do you remember the moment when you understood that Bitcoin like is a thing? Trading all these shit coins, or when you just started to explore in crypto, you understood like the Bitcoin is like the main thing in crypto, and maybe like the new monetary system.
No, I cannot like say one exact moment. I think it came over time, especially since like I got burnt on quite a few scams, altcoin scams, and then eventually maybe it was after I read the white paper and some started following more interesting people on Twitter, I guess. Because even when I came just in Bitcoin, I didn't read the white paper. It was only like a couple of years later that I read it. Yes, I'm not a good Bitcoiner, and just like you know you have the website, the Satoshi Nakamoto Institute or Nakamoto Institute. Yeah, and they have a lot of great resource material. And if you start reading that, you get like sucked in, and then it all starts making sense.
Suddenly.
Yeah.
So.
But for me, it was not like one exact moment.
Everyone is actually. I had like few questions that were sent to me before we make this episode. Some people. And actually everyone was asking why WhalePanda, because like obviously I do understand why whale, because we have this like big traders are whales, but why WhalePanda? What's behind that?
I get this question all the time. So back in 2014, you had 3 different Panda coins, and had a very large position in one of those Panda coins.
Okay.
So you have WhalePanda. That's basically that's the entire story.
Just like that.
Yes, that's it. It's really not an exciting story at all. And then I used it on, I believe it was on Bitcoin Talk the first time when I created an account there, and then on some Slacks, chats, and it just stuck basically. And everyone likes pandas, so it kind of made sense.
Nobody likes whales,
Yeah, no. So, but to switch it now just to panda, it's a bit strange, and everyone calls me Panda though. So
yeah, most of the time I see you in T-shirts and hoodies where only Panda, no whales.
It's my marketing.
It's your marketing.
I'm not selling them in any way.
I would buy one actually. Yeah. So for a long time, actually, you were hiding behind the avatar. You wasn't like you weren't disclosing your real identity. What was the reason behind that?
That's a good question. Also, I guess it comes from when I used to game a lot, like World of Warcraft and stuff like that. And you never used your real name. You always had your avatar. It's sort of like a safety net. I didn't. so also to protect your privacy, protect your family, especially. But with Bitcoin, it's more so than just with gaming, because you're talking about money here. So I didn't really want to be in the public eye at that spot at that point. So it was just for my personal privacy. Yeah.
And now you're like
Yeah. So yeah.
and what's the reason behind that you've now like basically told everyone what is your real identity? So suddenly you became more safe, and you
no,
think
not really.
that's like
So it was a consensus 2017, and I wanted to go there because I've been in Bitcoin quite a while. I never went to any conferences. Consensus was big, so I decided to go to Consensus. Also, I think even Samson Mao told me to come. So and then I messaged a couple of people like from my anonymous Twitter account, like, I'm here. Let's meet up. Let's have a chat. And then at one point, Ricardo Spagni from Monero, he wanted to make a picture, and it was not just with my face. Well, the first one was just like normal picture with me, Ricardo, and Samson. And something was wrong with the picture, so he wanted to do it again. And then actually my name tag was visible, and he tweeted that. So then I was like, basically, I was screwed, screwed by Ricardo. So yeah, and then I was no longer like anonymous.
So it was coincidence, basically. You didn't plan for that.
No, not really.
And how do you feel? Do you feel better when you're like, or different, or like less safe, or like you don't care about it anymore?
I feel different. I wouldn't say I feel less safe. I have my security. My OPSEC is decent. Let's put it like that. But yeah, it was different. It also gave me a lot of new opportunities, like working together with Charlie and Ricardo and Samson on the Magical Crypto Friends.
Magical Crypto, all around me I see big blockheads. Magical Crypto, the best thing to do is simply.
That's a lot of fun. I wouldn't be able to do that if I was like anonymous. And at conferences it's also fun, like to meet people, have people come up to you, say nice things about you. That's always fun.
Sometimes they say bad things about you.
No, actually, that hasn't happened yet.
Everyone loves Panda, as you mentioned.
We had one awkward conversation with Emin Gunsirer, but other than that, it's all very positive.
So, moving to Magical Crypto Friends, how did you came up with that idea?
Well, it was also like very, very silly, actually. So Samson, Ricardo, and I met at Consensus 2017. But then at some point in October of 2017, there was a conversation going on Twitter, and I think all four of us replied to the same conversation. And then someone said, like, you guys are the four biggest trolls on crypto or Bitcoin Twitter, and you should do a show together. We're like, actually, that's not a bad idea. So that's basically how it started. And I actually only met Charlie last year at Consensus. So I didn't even meet him before, even though we were already doing like 6 or 7 shows together. So yeah, that's basically the whole story.
Why did you choose that format? Like 4 friends are just sitting around and discussing like news, and like there's like the most popular format in crypto, I think, is audio podcast, where you just listen to something. Like, did you think about doing the audio, or you just straight away the idea came to you and like, we need to do that?
The idea was just to like have a Skype talk, the 4 of us. And the audio, well, we don't even have an audio podcast yet. Maybe when this airs, we will. But that's already, Samson has been working on that for 1.5 years. Just to put our podcasts or like our video cast on the podcast. But I mean, it felt natural. We didn't even think about just doing audio, and the visual part also allows us to do more or show things. And on my side, it's like my cat always jumps on, and I mean, I don't know. I don't even know how most people view it. Do they just turn it on and then walk away, or put on like a different tab? And I don't know. Or maybe they're staring at us for an hour long, looking at everything we're doing. I have no idea, but at least the people have like the option to do
Some
that.
of them are staring, actually, I think. So after the podcast, the next step for you was conference.
Yeah, that was actually also very silly. We just decided to do it. At Consensus 2018, we were very disappointed at the content that was there during New York Blockchain Week. And we just said, like, next year we should do a conference ourselves. It will be more technical. It will be more Bitcoin focused, because here it's all suits, regulators, ICO, healthcare on the blockchain, identity on the blockchain. We don't care about that, and most people don't care about it. But they're still coming to New York just because everyone is there at that moment. So just for meetings or something like that. So a lot of people that can provide good content or want to listen to good or watch good content will be in New York. So it kind of made sense. But then, like, that was in May 2018. But then it kind of died down, and then in October we were again like, oh yeah, we kind of promised that we would do it. So now we should probably rush, like, we should really start working on it. But yeah, it was very interesting. But it just like came out of the blue. Just a random suggestion that we came up with, and I said, yeah, we should do that. And that's how it always goes with us.
Did you enjoy the role of conference organizer?
It was interesting. So it was 4 of us, but I of course did the most work.
Of course.
Of course.
Like.
Anything else that you hear, that's all false. No, it was interesting. I learned a lot about the space, about speaker. The speaker, actually, the interesting thing was that getting the speakers was for us the easiest part, because we have a lot of good connections between the 4 of us. So getting the interesting speakers was actually the easiest part. Then we had someone, a project manager, doing the actual physical, like she wanted to check out the venues, stuff like that. But the conference itself was challenging, let's put it like that. So the morning, we only had access to the venue at 4 a.m. and we were supposed to go live at 1 p.m. Like doors open at 12 and the first speaker at 1. But that meant that in the morning we had to make 800 goodie bags, with all those like big plush dolls and all those coins. So it was like an assembly line of like 15 people, all stuffing bags with all that. So it was extremely stressful. Of course, Samson showed up late. So it was very stressful for me. But then as soon, basically, as Elizabeth and Stacy, they were the first 2 speakers. So it was a fireside chat with Stacy Herbert from Kaiser Report interviewing Elizabeth Stark from Lightning Labs. And as soon as they went on stage, like all the stress like left my body. I was like, they're now on stage. I'm fine.
All good.
All good.
Everything works.
If something goes wrong now, I don't care anymore.
I don't care.
But at the same time, you don't really enjoy your conference that much. So because I know you can talk about it as well. So you're running around. Yeah, you have to. We had two stages on 2 different floors. So we had to look for the speakers, get them mic'd up, make sure that they're there on time. Elizabeth Stark came in 5 minutes before she had to get on stage. So then, I mean, you're constantly running around.
But Don't you think that this format of conference focusing only on Bitcoin is like starting uh, to return to like relaunched, and then we see more and more conferences that are trying to focus solely on Bitcoin, or at least focus on proper like blockchain projects?
Yeah, so our conference was Bitcoin focused, but not exclusively Bitcoin. I mean, we had speakers from working from Tari Labs, working on Monero, stuff like that. But yes, and I think it was the same with the ICOs. So you had so many ICO conferences, too many, and that died down. I think the same will happen now also even with the Bitcoin conference, that you have too many. So over the next few years, I think like the less popular ones will not get enough sponsors, will not get enough visitors. So I think it's just a cycle. But I think it's very positive that there are more Bitcoin-focused conferences. I mean, we need to get word out there. We're
Yeah.
also just gonna buy our bags.
Yeah.
But I see that there are two types of conferences. So you have the conferences that are focused on building, or on on the building, on the community. You have conferences that are mostly just about making money. And I hope that the ones that are focused on building or the community will obviously prevail.
But sometimes it's not just about like agenda of the conference or like topics that are discussed. It's also about like managing all stuff that surrounds, like setting the proper price, making a proper arrangements, bringing the proper people in. It's not just like I'm saying I'm like, we will do like a Bitcoin conference and that's it, and now we bring a lot of people who are irrelevant.
Yes, yeah. Well, we had advantage there that we had like the proper contacts. So if I message someone, they were like immediately like, yes, I want to talk. I said, awesome. It's only 50 minutes. And like, I want longer. No, it's only 50 minutes. Yeah. So I think you need like proper Bitcoiners. If you want to do a Bitcoin focused conference, you should have the proper Bitcoiners. You shouldn't have like people who attack Bitcoin on your conference, because that makes no sense. I think you should also be very careful on who you pick as sponsors. We had so many offers from the scammiest ICOs or companies that you can imagine, or companies that would not be considered friends of Bitcoin, and we just turned them down. So that's what I was talking about when I said like you have two types of concerts: the one for the community and the building, and the other one that's just trying to make money.
Okay. So next year you're doing another one.
Yes.
Where are you doing this?
Again in New York. I know we initially said that we would move to Asia, but it went so well, and everyone was like, "Oh, but now you establish yourself here. You have the people here, so we should do it again next year in New York." And we said, "Yeah, okay, I guess we will do it again in New York." So yeah, we don't have exact dates yet. Maybe when this airs, we will. But it will be in New York, probably the weekend before consensus. But then now we did Saturday, Sunday, then we will do Friday, Saturday. Because on Sunday it was Mother's Day, and a lot of people apparently didn't show up because it was Mother's Day. And we didn't, and none of us thought about that before, that it was actually Mother's Day. So yes, the big one, the main one will be in New York. And then we're thinking to do like a test trial version in Singapore or in Asia as well later that year.
So you're going to basically like travel around, explore new locations.
That was actually one of my suggestions. Ideally, you would have like one conference every 2 months, like in every part of the world, like North America, South America.
But you know how difficult it is to organize
Yes.
a conference, every 2 months.
Oh yeah, no. that was a joke. But 2 per year that should be doable.
Yeah, that's manageable.
Yeah.
Actually. So this avatar culture, it's quite popular in crypto space. Why you think it's so popular within the crypto space?
Because partially, I guess, also because of the anonymity, and it's more interesting to see an avatar than someone's face sometimes. Yeah. So yeah. Well, my avatar actually Samsung created them. So Samsung actually a very creative guy. For all his flaws, he's a very creative guy because he has a gaming company. So all the Magical Crypto Friends, the intro, the short, also all the avatars, so, and the plush dolls.
So I understand like the story behind WhalePanda avatar. I understand the story behind Fluffy Pony avatar. Like Litecoin, Charlie, just chicken.
Well,
meme.
it was from a rice chicken, which was like,
Yeah.
and that was used whenever that Litecoin pumped back in the day BTCE days. So it's a very long time ago. And with Samsung, his Twitter handle was Excel Lion, so that's where the lion came from.
It's actually like the part of community that are more frequently using these avatars are actual traders. So you don't see quite often like business developers or like core developers or somebody that are using avatars.
Well, some core developers are, yes, who like prefer to stay more anonymous, like Vladimir and stuff like that. But yeah, I actually don't know why that's is more the case with traders. I guess with traders also prefer the anonymity. You don't want to like show your OPSEC. You don't want to show your face so people know what you look like. Because if you're a trader, people immediately assume that you're rich. While if you're a developer, that might not be the case. So and for more for business people, it's more like to.
Well, obviously, you want to be like transparent.
Yes,
and,
transparent and like it's more like the classic like classic people from finance and stuff like that. They will not trust avatars or anonymous accounts that much. That I also noticed a lot. So I had a lot of conversations about people saying like, "Oh, you're an anonymous Twitter troll." No, I'm not. I'm just using the hand. Like people, if you do a bit of research, you know immediately who I am. Yeah. It's just you're assuming that because of my avatar and because of my nickname. Yeah. But actually, a funny thing about that. So I guess you know Slush from Slush Pool, and there were a couple of others because I used the panda. People assumed that I was Asian. So I had a lot of people come up to me and say, "You're not Asian. Oh, that's a surprise." Yeah.
Yeah, but you also use the whale.
Yeah.
Which is not Asian.
Well, yeah, no. That's
no. So actually, somehow there are many like traders specifically in like area that you live, like Netherlands, Belgium, and all that. These countries. Do you have like some kind of culture? What are the roots of that? Because there are like plenty of specifically traders. Like
I honestly don't know. That's.
Do you have a community?
Yes,
I don't know. You
yes.
hang out with each other.
No,
or something
I
like
don't. I don't. I never been to the first conference I've been to now was Breaking Bitcoin in Amsterdam. That's the first conference in like Belgium, Netherlands area that I've been to. But there are a lot of like Dutch people in the trader community. I think it's because they accept technology very fast, so they're always ahead of the curve. While in Belgium, we're always like at the end of the curve. For us, it took a very long time. Like when I say us, I mean Belgians in general, to trust like e-commerce and stuff like that, and that's growing now. But yeah, in Netherlands there are a lot of traders. But I cannot really tell you why. I just assumed it's because they're ahead of the curve. They see the potential in Bitcoin.
Okay. From your perspective, what lacks in Bitcoin to become like massive thing? You know, like commonly used, like at least at the level of some European payment systems, something like that.
Ease of use. Yeah, so that's also one of the reasons why I think, you know, it's an unpopular opinion that most people are going to use custodial wallets just because it needs to be easier to use. And sadly, then you're going to end up with custodial wallets that are like 1-2 clicks, scan, 1 click, and that you don't have to worry about your seed phrase, your recovery, well, whatever. So I think custodial Lightning wallets will play a big part in that.
For you personally, if you would have like 3 options to choose from, like we give you one option, you choose that, and maybe or maybe not, you will have like boost in mass adoption. Like 3 options are like some kind of new technology, like built up, like on top of Bitcoin or within the Bitcoin. One of the biggest governments accept Bitcoin as a legal tender or as a payment method within the country, or like huge inflow of institutional investors. Which one do you believe would have like the biggest impact on mass adoption and on price, obviously?
Well, that's the difference, because on price, I guess institutional investors.
Well, okay, let's like pick one for the price and one for the mass adoption.
Mass adoption is obviously the one government like having it as legal tender, and the price will be in institutional money.
Yeah. So the technology doesn't mean a lot, or we already have like
we already have a certain level of technology, and I think that mass adoption also kind of forces you to scale. So one of the things that the people are saying, like one of the things that we're seeing, not all exchanges use batching, not all exchanges use SegWit, stuff like that. But if you the fees go up, at some point they will be forced to use it. Yeah. So it's in a way they will be forced to implement those things, because during the, I mean, people have been bothering them for like since end of 2017, I guess. Like when you're gonna do batching, when you're gonna do SegWit, and saying like, oh, we don't. That's not a priority for us now. We're gonna implement Shitcoin, blah blah blah. But for us now, that's not a priority. But
I know the particular exchange you are referring to, but let's not.
I can talk about many exchanges. So I think like once the mass adoption happens, they're forced to do that anyway.
So do you really believe that technology-wise, Bitcoin is already ahead the curve and of the curve, and we need like
base layer? Yes. I mean, there can be a lot of stuff built on top of Bitcoin itself. And that's being built. I mean, we've seen like with Lightning Network, we've seen with side chains like Liquid and stuff like that. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's actually very exciting to see like the progress that we made in the last 2-3 years. But the base layer, not much has changed there, and that's actually a good thing. So I see a couple of things more coming now in like the Schnorr and stuff like that. Yeah. But after that, I think soon after that, it will just freeze and not change anymore. And everything will be built on top of that layer 2 or layer 3. Okay.
So you're referring yourself, like you usually say about yourself, that you're a Bitcoin maximalist, although as we understood, you trade shitcoins. Is there any chance that in future you will say, okay, I'm not Bitcoin maximalist anymore? Like, I know that there's always a chance, but like, what could actually force you to stop being Bitcoin maximalist and become like altcoin maximalist, or like a person who accepts that there are other altcoins exist and actually cheering for other altcoins as well?
I actually think that I would rather quit the entire space than that happening, because Bitcoin is like, its inception was like a virgin inception. Like it was so pure almost, that that's impossible from now on, because like if you look at the uh, start with Grin, it was mined to death by like a lot of VCs put a lot of money in like buying rigs to just mine Grin at the start. Like the slow start that Bitcoin had, it's impossible now. So I don't think that something like that could be possible again. And if Bitcoin fails for whatever reason it does, if if Bitcoin cannot survive, then I don't think any altcoin can survive. And that's actually also one of the interesting things. Um, a lot of altcoin creators, they see their product as better than Bitcoin. But you know, when they're talking about Charlie Lee or Ricardo Spini, they don't see it like that. They also call themselves Bitcoin maximalists because they see Bitcoin as the main coin, and they also know that if Bitcoin fails, all other projects will also eventually fail. Because if that even cannot survive, then there's no point really.
When you're like comparing Bitcoin to this virgin inception,
Yes.
I had a religious experience. Yeah, that's a famous word from one famous man. So yeah, about Bitcoin. Like in 10 years from now, do you believe that there will be only Bitcoin, or there will be like other coins? There will be less coins, there will be more coins, and
Well, that depends on what kind of coins we're talking about. So just like the pure altcoins, there will be less, but they will still exist. Um, it as long as it's profitable, it will exist. And we also had this discussion actually on our show. If there's no Monero or if there's no Litecoin, then another coin will fill up that gap, and maybe it will be a more scammy one. So you always have that. There's always like an incentive to create something new and to yeah, try to scam people to buy a shitcoin. Now, but overall, I think there will be less altcoins, but maybe you will have more like security tokens and so like that sort of thing. That might become more popular. I don't know. I guess
your opinion on the stable coin, security tokens, government coins, government-backed coins, or commodity-backed coins?
security tokens can be interesting, I guess, but I still need to see the first one that is interesting. Fiat coins are useful for transferring money between two different exchanges. That's it. As a trader, you use it like to hedge basically, or to arbitrage.
Yeah,
Like
but basically now with all this second layer implementation coming out, like we already have like liquid. Of course, it's for institutional players at the moment, but you can like instantly transfer bitcoins from one exchange to another exchange like in few seconds, and so basically there's no need on having. It's only worth if you want to fix something like.
But it is an arbitrage a possibility, that then that's like fiat coins can still be useful at some point. But other than that, no. And government-backed coins like Petro and stuff like that, no, thank you. I don't see any future in that. STOs maybe, we'll see.
I have a question which I always ask to my to most of my guests, to all of my guests, which is who is Satoshi Nakamoto? by your opinion? Like, there's no if you don't want to name any like particular name, no, there's no need to do that. Just like you can describe whether it's like group of people or one person. How do you think? Who is he or she or?
I think it's a group of people, and I think that Hal Finney was definitely part of it. As for the other people, I honestly don't know. I kind of want Nick Szabo to be it, but I actually doubt it. I've heard the craziest, like we all heard crazy stories, but some stories that even like Peter thought could be Satoshi Nakamoto, because he was at a very young age. He was already talking to Adam Beck and stuff like that. At the age of can you imagine? At the age of 14, he was talking about the double spend problem and stuff like that. So I honestly don't know, but I want it to be Nick Szabo.
Okay, if you had a chance to like know this information, like you had a chance to like the Satoshi Nakamoto will be disclosed to you, would you take that chance?
Will other people know that I know?
No, they don't know. Like you're the only one who
Okay,
knows. Who is
yes,
Satoshi.
then I want to know. Like, if other people know, then they might pressure me or something like that. So, no, I think it would
Wouldn't
be,
you pressure yourself? You know, because you're like now you know like information that nobody
no,
knows.
well, no, that would be interesting, no? I mean, would you do it?
Uh, I think no,
No?
actually. I don't want to know that because I might get disappointed at
Yeah,
some
well,
point, you
that's
know.
like it's Craig Wright, but you always no,
Like,
but
ta-dam, is Craig right?
no, I'm a very curious person. I always want to know everything. So yes, I think I want to know.
You want to know?
Yeah.
Like if you had a chance to disclose it publicly.
No, I wouldn't tell anyone.
You wouldn't tell anyone.
No.
It's a bad upset.
Yes.
Okay. I agree with you on that.
And especially like if the person doesn't want to make it public, it's not my spot to make it public. Like if the person wants to be in peace, let them be in peace. But at least I will know. So
Yeah, at least you will know.
and I'm actually sure that some people know, like the people who were there initially. I'm sure that at least some people know who it actually is or was.
I asked Giacomo actually this question, but I want to ask you as well. Who is the supervillain of Bitcoin and who is a superhero of Bitcoin? You can name a few, or you can just.
Well, a supervillain, I guess, the obvious one, or Roger Ver, Craig Wright.
Why Roger Ver? He actually did like back in the days.
Yes.
He did a good things.
But that's typical for a supervillain, no? Like he started out good. There has to be a backstory. So he started out good, and then he like lost his mind in some kind of accident, and some big ash accident, and then he turned into the bad guy. As for the good guys, let me think. I guess people like Adam Beck. Actually, for me, Jameson Lopp, he's so smart, and he like, yeah. No, I really like Jameson. He's for me one of the heroes then of Bitcoin. Okay. I wouldn't go for like the obvious names, but yeah, Jameson.
So basically, developers.
Yeah.
Any business developers as well, like, or maybe like people who like public speakers, something like that, or book writers, or something like that. Or no, I'm just you know, I'm not pointing you at someone, you know, like
kind of feels that way.
Please tell more people, you know. No. Just if it's developers, and I agree with you on that because these people are obviously doing like the most of the job and they're building the important stuff.
I would say Nate from Bitstamp. You know, exchanges are very important because they also have an important role in the entire ecosystem. because some exchange owners supported like every attack on Bitcoin. I won't name who. But then you have like Bitstamp, Bitfinex, Kraken, who like get Bitcoin. BitMEX as well. Like BitMEX, they provide a lot of good. Their research is amazing, and they're also like really pro Bitcoin. So those are the people that like are very good educators and very important. Like they're in key positions to help support Bitcoin, and they're taking their responsibility, which is great.
Okay, I have the final question, I think. I usually ask my guests to make a prediction about Bitcoin price.
Oh,
And
that's
we
fun.
will put that prediction on the prediction platform, and anyone basically who will be able to be first there will be able to bet with you. So you need to pick a date somewhere in the future, like September, October, November, and say like on the 1st of, I don't know, November.
Let's just do like the 1st of January.
1st of January
19.
2020.
20.
Like,
Oh, I'm old.
yeah.
Okay, 2020.
We're not making this show in 2018, you know. If we would, I would make a lot of money with like, you know, shorting and
yeah, of course. So yeah, 1st of January 2020.
yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Bigger than or like smaller than, basically any benchmark.
Smaller than 20,000.
Smaller than 20,000.
Yeah.
Okay. So when we will publish your episode, then we will put this prediction on our prediction platform. We'll see.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. It was nice to speak with you.
Thank you for having me. It was very
See
nice
you in Riga.
drinking with you.
See you in Riga. And let's
Yeah,
drink.
Baltic Honey Badger.
Cheers.
Cheers.